right? You have to first identify what it is that you want, right? And I wanted to, Travell and I were talking about this. I wanted to be involved with something to do with trading, right? It was back in 2017. I was identifying, was mining Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, and I love that whole environment of not just mining but the trading aspect. So it made me look at different things, and I said to myself, "Man, I want to trade, and I want to be with a group that um, I can really get down with this." And sometimes it may not happen as fast as we want it to, but a lot of times the reason why that happens is because of what we think, what we say, and what we've created. But here I am now with exactly, if not better, than what I said I wanted. I've been blessed and fortunate to be part of this mentorship, to be around all y'all. And it's not just this mentorship, it's everything I've ever had or have ever accomplished, ever acquired, had to do with me first identifying it, what I wanted. And when you want something, the ideal thing to do. Let's say you want a particular car, right? We always hear, make a vision board, put the pictures up, go get the pictures, cut them out, put positive words and everything around it. Well, that's not enough. That vision board really is just a reminder, almost like a billboard. But you have to do more than what the vision board is saying. You have to, if you want a certain car, like this last week, I went to the Lamborghini dealership, right? I went and sat in the cars, right? I went and touched them. And the reason why it's important to do is because you're going to remember what that felt like to put your hands on that steering wheel. The firmness, just how firm that sports car steering wheel felt, right? How the seats felt when you sat in it and it wrapped around you, right? It's the same thing if you think back on, one of your favorite foods. If you think about one of your favorite foods, your mouth might start to salivate, especially if you're hungry and you start thinking about it. It's You may not have the taste on your taste buds, but you remember what it tasted like. You you know what that smell is like. So it's important to get your senses to be activated by the things that you want. That's why you'll hear, go to the dealership, walk through those dream homes, try on those clothes that you'd like to have, because you want to have those sensory. We tend to operate by what our senses tell us, but you want to have that ingrained and have that memory imprinted on your senses, because the next thing to do is not only know what you want, but to be able to visualize that. So when you look at the vision board, then take yourself in that moment of what it's like to be driving around in that car. Not what it's going to take to get that car, but what it's like to be driving around in that car. I'm using the car as an example because that's a very easy thing to kind of do, right? Um, but imagine yourself in the car. Now, the thing that you want to do, which is most important, is check your attitude. If you're in a bad mood, you just got, done having an argument, or you got some type of bad news, you want to put yourself in the right mental state. It's the attitude that goes along with the visualization, right? So you want to make sure that you put yourself, whether you find music that really puts you in the mood, right? You want to adjust your attitude so it lines up with what you want, and then also be grateful for and say in the present that I'm so glad, I'm so happy, I'm excited. Use positive emotional words that match up with what you want. So I'm excited about, that um, that black Lamborghini Aventador, that I have that, and I'm able to go and enjoy that and go on a nice Sunday drive, with me and my wife or me and one of the kids, and that excitement and seeing, my spouse or my child excited in the seat with me, and they're laughing because, to hear the roar of the engine, go through that and remember, just use those things that will remind you of how you felt when you touch those things and what you will feel like when it materializes. So and you, the thing behind that is you want to respond to it as if you already have it. because everything that you have was first a thought that you had, right? It eventually will become materialized or manifested, but that doesn't mean that you stay seated in the room always visualizing. You do have to take steps that's going to allow things to open up so that these things can occur, right? Um, the only thing that I was doing was, that eventually brought up the mentorship and everything else was Christina and I were preparing to move from the home that we were in. And, I was preparing for the change, right, to move. And then she said, "Oh, babe, look, this is what I was telling you what my cousin was doing. Is the Forex trading." And I said, "I didn't know your cousin was doing Forex trading." She said, "Yeah, look." And she pulled up she showed me the Instagram live. Her cousin is Deanna. She's part of the leadership. She does manages or helps manage some of the Spanish stuff. But she was showing she had never gone live with Instagram, right? Um, and when you talk to her about the story, her battery was running low. They weren't even considering going live. It was the first time she did it. So yeah, our battery was low on our phone, but everything played out perfectly so that we can see what was going on, right? And then all of a sudden, here it was. I was just taking steps to preparing for something new, for the move and everything else, right? It's not that you have to figure out the how. You just gotta not just sit in the seat and think that if I think about these things and I have good feelings about it, I don't really need to do anything other than think. You do have to take a step in some direction, and then where doors shut, that's a sign to, all right, I might have to shift direction a little bit, so I'm going in the direction I need to receive those things. And it was just a matter of preparing for something new, and that's how I ended up, finding about the mentorship and keeping it moving, and here I am now. And then, again, there's certain things even that I saw in the mentorship that I said, man, I said I really want to get with Corey. I really want to get with the wave makers. I really like the energy that these guys have, and then again, I'm blessed. Here I am, but it's because I saw myself. I visualized being on calls, kind of sitting there taking notes, all that stuff, and then it started to happen. Right? That's how everything works. So you have to know that you truly are worthy and capable of having the things that you want, right? And then you have to put yourself in the right mindset. And it's not just having an attitude of gratitude, but it's the positive emotions that tie along in with that. And then taking the steps so that you can put yourself in a position to receive it and not have to worry about the how. You don't need to say, I'm gonna be a millionaire and I'm gonna make it happen in trading. Trading might complement it. You don't want to close off opportunities that may involve where you end up with some real estate, or you end up with, you came up with an idea that can be implemented with the marketing IML, and then they want to compensate you for that. There's so many different things, but don't worry about the how. Just take steps with what you have, and things will work in your favor, and that's how you attract it to you. And again, like they said, just like at the beginning of this, they were talking about having the attitude of gratitude, but it's got to be a genuine emotion tied with it. If you're not happy when you have gratitude, then you negate that attitude, or you negate the gratitude. Because how many times has somebody given you something and was like, and they turn, or you gave somebody something and they say, "Oh, thanks." That's like, that's a cheap thanks. What do you mean thanks? Or there's the sarcastic thank you. But when someone genuinely is happy to receive, you can feel you respond to that as well. And it's like, man, if I could have gave you more, I would have. This is great, that exchange. So that's what you want to do. I don't care if your belief is, the universe or your heavenly father, whatever it is, it's got to be a genuine response of gratitude. So all those clips of gratitude that we listened to in the beginning, the deeper message behind any of those presentations have always been having the right attitude to correlate with that. You can't have gratitude without having a positive emotion with it, and you can't have a positive emotion without gratitude. They work hand in hand if you want to execute these things.
Man.
All right.
Great. I appreciate that, Fred. I appreciate that so much because, like, I kind of knew where I wanted this to, to start off, but like, it was just that whole conversation manifested out of just, hey, let's drop this. I just dropped this one little message to Christina, and like it's turned into like such value. One question that I had for you, two questions actually. You mentioned like visiting the house or sitting in the car. Is there like a term that you would call or use to describe like what is that called when you actually doing that?
No, it's uh, some people refer to as touch, smell, taste it.
Touch.
Just go out there and put your hands on it. Activate the senses. That's all you got to do. I mean, think about it. When people are planning their wedding, right? They go taste the cake. They'll go try on the dress. It's all preparation, but we take it as something mechanical because it's going to happen. But you can do that with all things. You have to go out and try it out. And don't count yourself unworthy to have and do and experience the things because you came from a certain background, you come from a certain economic demographic, you come from a certain racial background. None of that stuff matters. The limitations come from what you do in your mind. What you do. Oh, I can't do that. Or, and I'm not trying to blow anybody up, but, I saw a comment that said, I am my worst critic. Flip that. Just say, I'm my best critic because I can identify where, I did something that I wasn't happy with, and I can trust my opinion or trust my view on what I did, and I'm going to make sure I execute that better. So if it's, the little things that we say, the little habits that we have, is we tend to go ahead and overlook that. But when you actually start to evaluate that and pull it apart, you realize, man, these are things that I've kind of perpetuated just by these little things I'm saying, or just these little attitudes. My big old behind ain't gonna get in the shape that why are you saying your big old behind? You can get in the shape that you want, or man, I'm really having a hard time get this, but I'm eventually gonna get it. Well, which one do you mean? Are you gonna get it or not? Because if you say it's hard and you're not gonna get it, then you're not. But if you say you are, or I understand it better today than I did yesterday, and I know it's just going to perpetually get better and easier and smooth. You
Mm,
know.
wow. Okay. The next question was any like resources or like any books that kind of dug this into your beliefs or habits or anything in particular you
Yeah,
want me?
they always say, and it's like beating a dead horse, right? It truly is Think and Grow Rich. If you read the Bible, Proverbs is another one. If you, another one that I know a lot of us may have checked it out, but really when you start to play something over and over again, you start to pull out different things that you didn't hear before. The reason why that happens is because your mindset shifts a little bit so you can receive the better information. One of the great ones to listen to is The Secret. If you don't like, if you're not reading the Bible or you're not reading Think and Grow Rich, then watch The Secret over and over and over again. See if you hear something different, especially after you've gone through with visualization, or any of your positive affirmations, or the other thing, like these little things that they're saying in secret is, they're not little. They're really big things. Like sitting there, I know people say, I'm on social media all the time. I know it's a waste of time and all that, or I watch Netflix too much. You got to take a moment so that you can do those things and watch what you're watching. And I would suggest watching some comedies. Laugh. They say laughter is the best medicine, but that's such an understatement. You gotta laugh, right? And then laugh at some of the things. Like, I was laughing because I relate to what you're saying, Corey, when y'all only caught 100 pips and y'all could have caught Lamborghini pips. You know what I'm saying? But I laugh at it because, so what, I missed that one. We know how the market's gonna work. I'm gonna get that back. And I did. I did on the session we did last week Thursday, right?
Yeah.
So that's always going to come back. All of this too is like the market. The market is very similar to how this mindset works, right? Because there's going to be some pullback. It's how you respond to it. Do you go into a panic and say, "Yeah, see, I'm not going to get that. See, this is why," or you just going to say, identify that that's just pullback. You know, we wanted to just go straight up, but that's not how things work. Sometimes you will get that crazy impulsive move, not just in the market, but in life where you get these massive wins, but then there's some pullback. Well, you have a little more effect on what that pullback is just based on your mindset. If you keep your mindset in the right place and remind yourself, and it's so crazy because I was talking to my kids about this morning. I said, you know, I appreciate that you guys are you know, you're thankful, you know, you're saying thanks for stuff, but are you happy? And I kind of chin checked them for a second because I make sure I've been checking with my kids at least once a week to reevaluate. Do you feel happy? And if you're not, identify the last time you were happy and what changed between that point and now, and what can you do to remove those things. And all of this is identified again on those resources I was talking about.
Mm.
You know, The Secret, Think and Grow Rich, you know, and you know, the book of Proverbs, man, stuff like that.
Man, I really, really appreciate you doing this today. And I know it wasn't planned that you were going to be speaking, but you did amazing. Um, and I'm just happy and thankful that, you know, we all met, we had this opportunity to like, and like, what's funny about Fred is, like, I met Christina first, and like, but like ever since, when I met Fred, it was like he's always been like, man, I'm yo, just whatever you need, bro, whatever you need, I got you, whatever it is. Like, I just want to help, and he's just been that person that's always just kind of offered himself up, and just trying to give some kind of value, you know what I mean? And I don't at first I was like, like I didn't understand it, or why or what, when, why, or how, but it was just like it's just these kind of moments when you have to like just appreciate that kind of stuff, and I just want to say thank you for sharing this and explaining this, because again, like this is stuff we all battle, we all go through this, and then and not just applying it to trading, but in life in general. And really trading, honestly, is the manifestation of life on a chart, to be totally honest. Candles move up and down more so off of sentiment, which is the feeling of the world and the market, versus an actual chart pattern, and all of this kind of stuff plays a role into the decisions that the banks are making, the decisions that we as retail traders are making. And I just wanted you guys to kind of tie that all into, if you're not where you are, or you got financial goals that you're trying to meet that aren't there, and you aren't there yet, dig in to see, is it actually because you don't know what you're doing trading, or is it something with your affirmations? Is it something with your vision? Is it something that, is it some things that you're not being appreciative of and being grateful that you are? Like, if it, even if it's something as simple as, I'm happy and grateful that I understand how to mark up a chart. If you couldn't do that last week, if you couldn't do that the day before, right? Appreciate the fact that you finally understand that kind of stuff, right? Appreciate the fact that you understand how to, interpret an indicator that you've been trying to learn how to do, or you understand some individual piece of trading that you've been trying to learn how to do, or or the fact that you got recommended this, The Secret again, after you probably heard you should read The Secret probably by a million people, right? How many
Absolutely.
times
Watch the video, play it in the background.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Yep. Like I've heard that I need to watch The Secret. I've watched The Secret. I've read The Secret. I've read Think and Grow Rich. I've listened to it. But be appreciative on the fact that somebody has said again to you, go back and do it. It's a reason why these things and events keep happening, and these things have been repeated to you, or that someone's come into your life to say these kind of things to you, because it's God's way, it's the universe way of reiterating what you need to be successful, right? So again, thank you, bro. Man, this was dope. This got recorded. I didn't start it from the beginning. I hit it somewhere in the middle, and it's gonna be uploaded on my YouTube. It's gonna be unlisted, so I'll share the link out to you guys once we get off and once it's done uploading. Okay.
I mean, Corey, it's been my honor and privilege, and I think y'all more like you can't understand. You couldn't measure how much I appreciate this myself. One last thing I want you all to remember, and just really, I want you to think about this and play this over and over in your head. But please, really consider this. Take away everything that you might know or have identified or characterize yourself as, and just know this. You, as an individual, are absolute royalty. Like, it's no mistake that you are here with this team, trading and doing what you're doing. You are absolute might and power. And I know initially, until you really start to, man, the closer you get to it, the more you walk in it, all of a sudden you start to realize there's that fine line between, being proud and having self-respect. But have the self-respect for yourself to know that you are absolute royalty and you are absolutely worthy to do and have anything that comes to your mind. It says clearly that those dreams are put in you for a specific reason, because you've already been counted royal to have those things. Don't work towards things, walk towards those things. I'm working to learn this. No, I'm walking towards what it belongs to me, because just like any good king or queen that sits on their throne, they don't have to fight. But there's times that the king or queen does step down and goes and enters the battle. But the majority of the time, the king or queen does not need to step down off their throne. So you don't need to battle with anything. You may get challenged, but you are greater and you have the power greater in you than what's coming against you. The only reason why you are ever attacked is because you're closer to what you want more than you ever know. That's the only reason why. Why would an enemy attack something? I don't care if it's the adverse energy in the universe, Satan, whatever adversary. Why does an enemy attack? Because you're getting closer to them, closer to your goal, which is the threat to them. So let the threat happen. Endure and persevere. That's why we see those little memes where, oh, it was just two more digs of the shovel, and they would have hit that diamond mine and they would have had what they were looking for. Keep going. The threat is only greater because you're that much closer. You are a king. You are a queen. You are capable of more than you could even begin to imagine, because you already know, if you go back and you check your own history, you are in places now that you never thought you'd be at. You're able to do that even further from this point. So you don't even know what you're capable of. There's no cap. There's no limit. You are royalty.
Man. How
My goodness. Oh my goodness.
Thank
you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm gonna open it up real quick just for like comments, questions, just real quick, and then we'll get on the charts after that.
I mean, I wanted to say, Fred, thank you. Thank you, because I mean, I know I struggle. I struggle.
You're challenged. You're not struggling.
And Corey knows. I get to a point where I know I'm about to get there, right? And then there's somebody just beating down. It's like trying to like literally stop me from getting to where I'm trying to get to. And I always get to that point, no matter what I do in life. And I say, you know what? I don't want to fight no more. I'm done. And I just walk away. But this time, and Corey, this time, I didn't back down. And I'm at that wall again, and I'm not backing down. Because I see every time I back down, the enemy wins. I gotta remember, like, and this is the sad part, like, I've tried to take my life more than once. And I remember that last time I tell myself, no, this isn't it. It's not what God wants. And I know that God canceled that plan that the enemy already had. And the moment that happened, everything around me started to fall apart even more. And it's like, okay, cool. And that's how we're gonna play it. I got better plans than that. I'm gonna continue to walk in this, and I'm gonna continue to be happy in this. I'm gonna watch this change. I'm gonna watch this turn around. And I did exactly just that. So I get it. And I know when you faced with the obstacle like that, you gotta keep pushing. You got to.
King Travell, I want you to hear something right now, brother. What you need to realize is this. You keep getting tested with this thing because the almighty universe, whatever you want to say it is, needs you to pass it because they see everything is pointing towards that royalty. You have to pass this because it is your duty to have your kingdom. So the reason why you get tested over and over again is not because, got you, yeah, we keep beating you down. It's, you have to win because as a king, you must sit on your throne. Reclaim the throne. Some of us don't realize, even if it's generations back, we've been kidnapped and lied to about who we are and the royalty that we are. And then you find out you got adopted into
yes.
You start to realize, wait a minute, but that's not where I'm at now is not my true inheritance. And it'll blow your mind to find out I'm a king. Wait, I'm a queen. Wait, I am royalty. I have an inheritance that is immeasurable with wisdom. It's not just, I don't mean just with wealthy riches. I mean with talent, with wisdom. That's the key thing, wisdom. And what does this all call for with us trading is wisdom, right? There's no limit to what you can get. So brother King Travell, what I would tell you is this, hang tight, pass this test as a king, reclaim your throne. Look, just like we always say with the market, when there's a big pullback, man, it's going to take off going in the opposite direction on that uptrend. It's always, any setback is a great opportunity for a magnificent comeback. So the negatives never win. I mean, even if you were to go biblical, that is so slick that our Heavenly Father would even say what it's going to end with. That's how definite and exact and true it is that the end has already been written. And that's a whole nother subject. Because if you go back where it says, I knew you before the foundations of the earth, that means you've been an eternal thought. That means you're an eternal royal being. Bro, you got so much you can get done. Don't let this, just like you've passed everything else. When you finally get some distance on it, you're like, I can't even believe I was sweating that. I can't even believe that was something I was battling. That was just a challenge. They challenged the king. King Travell, you already own and obtain the victory. Let it manifest.
Appreciate that.
I say teach, Fred, teach.
Right.
Anybody
I
else?
wasn't even going to get on the call today because I'm with my family or whatever. But I've been feeling like in a bad spot like lately. And at first I was manifesting everything you said I was doing. But then probably like 3 months ago or whatever, I just got in a different space. I didn't really want to like do anything really. Didn't even want to like really trade like that. And one, because I was like losing a lot. My mindset wasn't where it was supposed to be. But today, now, Fred, you spoke a lot and I love it. And I'm glad I got on this call today.
Hey, Fred, can you turn your camera on so they know who they talking to,
Yeah, my bad, man.
so they can see?
Here we go.
Say hey
Oh,
to Fred, everybody.
hi, Fred.
Here.
All right.
I took some of your stuff down. Do you mind if I put it in our chat?
What's that? Oh, was that for Corey or?
No, it was for you, Fred. You.
No, look, anything y'all need to utilize. Again, I don't own any rights to any of this. I've utilized this from other kings and queens, you know. So I've been blessed and fortunate, and I love to be able to share this. Like, this is the thing that is exciting to me, you know. So this is to trade, like trading, and that just complements the overall, right? So I'm saying just utilize whatever you can. I say not just for the chats, but use that with siblings, children. I mean, whoever and anyone that you could think of, man. You know, and for real, I embrace each and every one of you with love. Like, if I was in the room with you right now, Corey knows it's not just like, hey, what's up, bro? It's that, man, because it's real love. I got real love for all of y'all.
Yep. And since day one, since even before day one.
I have a comment that I'd like to make. Years ago, I had this dream, and I think I was in a deep sleep. I usually don't remember dreams when I have them; they just go past, you know. But I had this dream, and I was needing to sign something on this piece of paper to put something in action. And when I got ready to sign my name, I was signing Queen somebody. I didn't get the last name, but I was signing. It wasn't Marilyn Tate. It was Queen somebody. So I was like, man, I was a queen way back then. I'm still a queen today.
That's right.
That's just, and then when he was talking about kings and queens, it just made make me think about that dream years ago that I had. I am a queen.
I mean, think about it. It says, I knew you before the foundations of the earth. The foundations of the earth were before he said, let there be light. So before that, that means that was before time, which means before that, it's just been eternity. You've been eternally on his mind. You are an eternal being, you know, but we want to get, you know, relegated, regimented, and box in this, you know, and then y'all better make sure you pay your tithes and the offering and Lord. No. It's beyond any of the rules and all that. It goes beyond that. You know, the thing is that when you look outside and you see the beautiful sky and you see the beautiful trees and you hear the beautiful sounds, it was created specifically for you. And it may sound corny when you listen to it in the secret, but the more you just have an open mind and say, all right, let me see what this is like, and just kind of mess with that, flirt with it. All of a sudden you start to feel different. And you're like, man, this is, and then you start taking what is rightfully yours, not with aggression in a sense like, you know, yeah, look at me, you know, that's arrogance. There's a difference between self-respect and having a good, positive pride versus arrogance. There's always those fine lines, right? It's like you're waiting to see what that candle is going to do, how it's going to close. Just respect the line. That's it. But that doesn't mean that you have to brush it off. Just like we always hear like the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, or the scripture that says, love thy neighbor as thyself. But we focus on what we got to do for everybody else first. You have to first love yourself, then love your neighbors. You have to know how you love you before you can love somebody else. You know, it says, as our cup runneth over, not, you know, when your cup is half full and then sacrifice. Wouldn't you rather give from abundance than to sacrifice? So again, it's mindset. Give from abundance. I'm sharing this with you from abundance, not sacrificing. Yeah, Corey, I just want to call, man, but yeah. No, this is from abundance. And I love this. And I make sure that this cup overflows. But then I get challenged, right? We all do. But I've been blessed and fortunate to have my wife who reminds me, you know, and we go back and forth. Sometimes I might catch myself in a slump and she'll remind me, and vice versa, you know. So have someone that's you're accountable to, not just in your home. If you don't have anyone in your home, but find someone that you can be accountable to. That's why we all talk about accountability partners.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh. All right, guys. This could go on. This could go on. Like,
All right.
this could go on. And you know, like I said, man, brother, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. To switch these over to the charts now. Drop some pairs in the chat that we want to go over, and thank you guys for your testimonies. Thank you guys that came and spoke, that chimed in. Thank you, Fred. This was osmosis. Like, this wasn't planned. This wasn't like, none of this was planned. Like, this all just happened, right? So that means, what does that mean? That means it was supposed to happen. So,
That's right.
so just understand that. So I think I got EU marked up already, and I'll just go over it. EuroCAD, okay. I always got gold marked up. I think I can pull GJ out of there. NAS platinum. I have never traded platinum, but we can go over it.
I think I already have platinum marked up.
Let's look at EU. EU, simple. I think I gave you guys a very, very, very good overview of what's going on with EU. Coming from a monthly perspective all the way down to current price. EU, we are in the kill zone of this move right here. From this lower high to this low that's over here, right? I even have it already on here already because I just marked this up not too long ago. But, you know, from a monthly perspective, we basically are rejecting this. What's happened every time we got to this kill zone after this impulse, right? So we think about the market in a phase where anytime we have an uptrend or a downtrend, we have our downtrend right here, and then we're expected to make this move, right? Even if we don't make this full move, what we have is a single wave, right, of a downtrend, right? And we've just made our impulse to the downside from these months right here up until this point, and then now we're back down to this point, and we rejected that, right? So one of two things can happen. With us being in this kill zone, right, we can have a continuation to push up. We've already reached into the 618, the 50%, which is where we are at right now. If you look around, look at the fibs. I don't even have to really remove the fibs off of this, because right now we have reached our 50% again. We reached it once already and price rejected. We haven't reached our 38.2 area of this movement, right? So we have to assume that price may consider this area as his next target overall, right? And in seeing that, we want to see likely a push up to this or a rejection in this area right here, because we've already done that several times. And again, this from the monthly perspective. So our probability is higher that we get a rejection within this range, right? So you want to keep that in your overall opinion, right? Once we start getting down to the lower time frame, the weekly, you see we've had multiple rejections off of this kill zone. starting all the way back in 2015, May 2016, 2017, 2018, 18, 18, and we're finally back up at this range in 2020 for the first time since 2018, right? So though we're in this uptrend, right, the probability states here that we are the probability is high within this range that we may get a rejection at some point. But until we do, we will take the short targets within this range for a buy until we get a higher time frame move, right? So from our daily reiterates the same thing, right? From our daily, we reiterate the same exact thing where we have a high here. And we have our recent low from a higher time frame. I mean, from a lower time frame over here, right? Let's measure that. This is 111 pip range, right? I'm gonna pull it down to the 4 hour. I think what's even more interesting is when I first went over this pair for Naomi that day, we had just made this high, these highs over here, and we rejected. So did you sell this, Naomi?
She was in a buy for that, but she had closed out.
Yeah.
She got scared.
Yeah. What Travell said is true.
Yeah. Remember I told you, we made a high inside of here near supply, right? So we got the overall view from the higher time frame. Now the lower time frame is telling us this is the most recent impulse, right? From this low to this high, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where are we as far as supply and demand goes, right?
He's still in distribution phase right now.
From this point, we're near an end supply, right? And our new demand area is down here, which is the kill zone. So another way to understand like what goes on, again, I think I made the comment that this is all sentiment and behavior, right? The demand for this trade started down here, right?
Right.
The demand started here, right? Once they were able to push it up from here, the new demand came in here. They used this high and pushed it up from there, right? So those buyers that were buying down here, they moved up to here. Then they moved up to here. Then they moved up to here. Then they moved up to here. And the majority of these people buying right here held the market where it is holding the market where it is right now inside of this consolidation, right? So with that being said, in the opposite direction, right? We are from a higher time frame. We just had them do the same exact thing from, let's look at the weekly. Now let's look at the monthly. There is a higher time frame move coming in from over here and then coming from down here, right? Where if we measure this move, we see our supply was here, right? The market pushed all the way down to this point before it found demand, right? But just like I just showed you from a buyer's perspective, the supply, the sellers came back in the market right here. They started to push the market back down here. Here, every time we pushed back up into this range, supply moves itself down until it got down to this point. So right now, we have a lot of supply in this area right now because they knew once they sold off from here years and years and years ago that they had enough people that sold here that saw that they could sell again. So this is where the probability is leaning right now to the seller side within this range because our supply has shifted down more, right? So to trade this, you need to understand if you do take a buy, it needs to break this high before you really consider a buy, right? And up until that point, your bias should still be to sell. Now, where we do know there's buyers is near these lows right here, right? So if we do take a buy, it needs to be where the probability is higher that we take a buy from, right? Which is down here, where we know demand moved from here to here to here to here, right? And leaving us where we are right now, inside of this zone, inside of this range, right? So box you off. Now this is 60 pip range, right? And then we have another range that's smaller right here. And this will put us in the zone we trade from. 30 pips zone. It's a good size on Euro USD. We don't need to see this anymore because we know where we are. Right. Okay. So the buy break here. Your sell break here. Right. Clean that up. Where do you buy to? You buy to the highs. And you buy to the highs because you know ahead of time that you can see that every time it's got back to supply near the highs, it's sold off, right? Lower high, lower high, lower high, wick rejection, all near the highs of this supply of this range, right? So we already have the beginning of a push back down to these lows, right? So our target should be near the lows, right? So our target at least is back down to here, right? If it breaks below this, I should be aiming for this low, right? If it continues to push down, you can put TPs along the way near this weak rejection right here and possibly near this rejection right here. And that'll split it all in half for you. Those are your three targets, right? That'll accumulate, let's see how many pips. 25, about 25 pip move. Yeah, about 25 pip move on this. For the buy, you're looking at here, here, and here. With the buy, you're looking at about the same 25 pip move. And if you want to try to get into the buy, or if you want to try to get in the buy a little early, you can trade the break of the 4-hour candle. But be careful.
And that's what I was trying to figure out. That's where I draw my box, right? If I want to early and then go down to the 15-minute and look for my entry there, right?
Anytime you take your entry, you want to take it from the 15-minute.
Okay.
So if you take this buy break, which is an early buy break, early. This is where you'll take it from right here. This move would be total of 30, 40 pip move, basically. From here, just a little bit right here. You can give you a fourth target on this. Okay. And let me go to the 1 hour. Oops. So this is the EU. Your overall target would be here for the sell, for the buy. But if it comes up to this point, you can buy the break of these highs too. If you have enough momentum to push this up, you also can look at buying this right here, just like the sell here. All right. So that's for you.
So Corey, the kill zone is always going to be between the where you have the sell the break, buy the break, the first buy the break.
It's all kill
What's
zones
that?
always 618 to the 382. And you can put that in any, yeah. You can put that in any direction.
Fibonacci.
Yeah. You can put that in any direction. And that's where you're gonna find that same kill zone. And that's where you'll have that that divide between sellers and buyers in that area. So I'm dropping them in the trade ideas and I'm dropping them inside of our group chat so that we have those.
Thank you, Corey.
Okay.
So they're available. This is available on the group chat and inside of the this window. So don't worry about if you miss it. So GJ.
GJ might drop some more, bro. Be honest. It's at that pivotal point that it can reach down further.
What do we got going on? I think I'd already done this same thing again prior to this, right? But we got a similar situation, right? We're in the midst of an overall downtrend on GJ, where we had a sell-off from supply right here. This created another impulse leg down. We responded to another area of supply. So I could literally copy this and place this right here because that's what's just happened, right? Literally just copy this, right? And the supply was huge up here. The supply decreased, but it was enough to push it down, just like here. And as we get closer to these lows, the demand increases, right? So that's where we have this relationship with supply and demand that's happening right now. So we had another, look, I could copy this same thing again right here. We had a huge sell-off right here because once we go to the lower time frame, it's going to show you this same thing, right? Make it a little smaller because diminishing results, not the results, but diminishing sellers as we get closer and closer to this point, right? Right. Now, let's go to the weekly. This the most recent weekly move from here, right? But this move right here is dictating everything right now because we had this low, this high, and we trapped it, the movement in between this. Cool thing is I don't know if you noticed it yet, but this lower high and this higher low has created support in these areas, right? And you basically got your actual range off of this from this low and this high right here. So this is the actual size of your range right here. Everything in between this low, this higher low, this lower high and this higher low has been dictating everything that's been going on since August on this pair, right? So let's drop down to the daily. We got this recent move, higher low, higher high, price trap from here to here. Not a lot of support yet. So this may push down. We don't have a lot of support, but we do have a lot of resistance, right? A lot of resistance showing in these areas, right? 4 hour. So, low. Oops. This was our weekly low. This was our weekly low, right? Target. Your primary buy should be here, right? Your primary buy, just like your primary sell should come here in this area. puts us in a range in the lower time frame that is roughly about 25 pips. I think where I have to go now. Thank you. No problem. We're gone already. Okay. Put you in about a 25 pip range, right? And you can see I really don't have to do a lot with the targets, honestly, because we already got everything lined up already, right? All these levels that were created before, we can just use them again. But I'm gonna clean everything up so that way we can see this a little better. Let me get rid of this. Target is gonna come over from over here. This is gonna be the next target right here. Oops, undo. Okay, and then what do we have right above us? If we hit the target, we'd be trading from this buy break to a daily zone, right? Clear, easy, and concise. Now, for the sell target right here. In this case, I like to kind of split this because you'll probably see on the lower time frame that there's a nice little rejection over here. Same thing right here. Let's split that somewhere right here. And go to the higher time frame. What do we got over here? So it's actually coming from here.
Corey, is there a imbalance around your TP1 for the buy
Let me
on the
look.
4 hour? On the 4 hour,
Let me look.
I figure it would go up there and then come back down.
And that imbalance shit, it starts to push up. But it's definitely a buy to sell scenario.
A little high on your buy side.
Imbalance. Absolutely, it is.
Right,
Inside
right,
this.
right around TP1.
It starts at TP1 and pushes up to like basically the daily zone. It's a 4
Yeah,
hour
to the
imbalance.
yeah.
Yeah.
I see it doing that, and then I don't know, and maybe probably breaking through and then come back because it looked like it want to go back to the where all that what you call that stuff right there, smart money, or where the money is,
Yep.
and
Definitely.
then drop, take us out and then go back down because it'll hit the the trend line.
Definitely. If you look, you are spot on right here. Here it is right here. All our TPs live inside of there. So what
Yeah.
Glad you pointed that out because basically this is telling us where we can see the higher probability that we see our rejection is inside of this. So if we hit our targets, what does that mean? That means that you need to lock in profit on this trade.
Right, right, right.
Even more so because you are nearing an imbalance. And on this kind of candle, I like this because you can also see that there's rejection inside of here from this candle right here. And then right above it, that's a zone right here.
All the way to your 38
This
on,
is
you
the
know,
zone.
little past your 38 to the 23. Yeah.
Yep. This is a zone, right? That's what makes this kind of stuff even more important to understand it. And then another good thing, let me add this last target. That's going to come here at this daily rejection. And that'll trap us in between daily rejection, right? Oops. Oops. Yeah. All right. So that's the setup. But when you are trying to figure out what candles are imbalanced candles, you looking at bullish, bearish, engulfing candles. You're looking at candles with huge wick rejection because or candles that break zones, right? You'll see candles that break through zones on higher and lower time frames. This broke a zone. This candle broke a zone. This candle rejected the zone, rejected the zone, rejected the zone. This candle rejected the zone, right? And the way you interpret it is, you know, I've gone through a lot of the the you know how they see where institutional moves are and institutional candles are, but essentially, what you a quick way to interpret all this is to find these candles, right? And you can dive into it really, really deep, but the simplest way to understand that is to look for those candles, right? There are some things you can look for, and they'll teach you that in the bounce back courses and stuff like that, um, and the smart money courses, right? But what I noticed about all those are the candle structure and candle patterns. And then if you just take your fibs, man, this candle we know for a fact was a bank move, right? If we throw our candles on there, our fibs on there, this will tell you right here, this is where your imbalance is right here within this little range. Did it miss it or push through it a little bit? It did because it's not perfect, right? But overall, if you had took a buy from here and you missed this move from down here, you had 1, 2, 3 opportunities to get into this trade, to take this whole buy from here. Just like right here, this is another imbalance candle, right? You had 1, and this is on the daily time frame. So you had 1, 2, 3 days you could have got in this trade at inside of this area. And if you break it down to the 4-hour or the hourly, you probably even have more times than that within those 3 days, right? So that's an easy way to put this, right? Or if you look at candle like this candle right here broke a zone, didn't it? There was a little structure high right here on the smaller time frame. It broke through that zone on this candle, right? What do? Bam, bam. There's your imbalance right here. If I'm gonna take this buy after we got out of through this, did it push down past this? Yeah, it did a little bit. It pushed down here, past it a little bit right here. It actually hit the 100 on this candle right here, the 0 on this candle. But where is the majority of the price action on these 1, 2, 3, 4 days? It's mostly right here, right? So if I missed it or I got wicked out right here, that's fine because I understand that there's the imbalance that's got to get filled, right? That I could have got in on this candle, could have got in on this candle, right? So that's 2 days of candles I could have got on. We move it up, right? This candle definitely has an institutional move right here, right? Definitely institutional move, right? They use this candles imbalance to get this wick right here. You had 1, 2, 3, 4. You can, even though this didn't come all the way down, you can still count this because it's reacting to this, right? So that's 5, 6 trades for huge moves inside of this imbalance. And that's on the daily time frame, right? We break this down even further, right? This candle right here, this candle right here, this candle right here, there's imbalance being created on lower time frames that you could have got into this move from this low to this high, right? So that's kind of where the importance of this is, right? To understand this, but let me give you this setup. EJ on the 1 hour. And then gold. This whole trade still valid right here. Um, yeah, this is still valid. I don't even have to really go into details and explain this or mark it up because all of this is still valid. That's gold. That was easy. That was easy. Another thing I wanted to kind of this is for some people that want to deeper dive into trading. Let me see this right quick. Same thing with silver. This is pretty much marked up. Let's just add in a couple more targets. Let's gold and silver. And let's go 1 hour. And silver is on the right, gold is on the left.
Gold has a head and shoulders on the 4 hour.
All right. And then let's take one to see EuroCat. EuroCat. Ranging monthly recent range. So this is the most recent move. Weekly most recent move is to the downside, but that looks a little shanky. Daily, we have a recent impulse to the downside. We just made a higher low. We may make a lower low and then make a lower high. But because we made this low in November, from here to here, let's see. What are we doing right here? We ripped off the 236. And we're sitting on a 382. This could push up and make a lower high. If it does, we'll take a buy. So let's box that in from here.
Corey, what's the overall trend of EC?
Overall, it's ranging.
But it's on a right now it's trending down on
Yeah,
this
yeah,
okay,
trending down. Overall, it's ranging though. On a daily, this is junk. Weekly, junk in between here. And if we zoom out to the monthly, it's just really ranging. But that's a higher range though. We just had this push up from
what's that thing that they call I'm not gonna call it Elliott, but you see how it's almost even on the ups and downs?
channel. This is in the channel. This is actually in the channel.
It's like a wedge, almost like a big wedge.
Yeah. Where's that little channel thing? Channel, parallel channel. There you go. I can go back even a little further. So it's been in this channel ever since 2012 on the monthly, weekly. You can see another little channel that it just broke out of right here.
That's a little too choppy for me.
Yep. And from this channel, it exited and went sideways February. Now we are just in this consolidation between this high and these lows, and even more recent between this high and these lows. So it's a little choppy as far as taking any long-term trades, even breaking it down to the daily, still in a little range right here. But we are holding this support right now. But you can already tell that it's trying to make a bigger move. So keep it simple. We got our high and low. This is about 25 pips. Pull you up a little bit. Buy break. Sell break. Right here. Target on this. Next target. Next target. Split this just before. And then you could target this week. The break below that, you got this low from off of the daily right here. Overall, this will give you a good 40, 50 pip move, almost 35 pip move, almost 40. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Let's use this and pull you down just a little bit. So, look a little cleaner. Then on your one up for the buy, target here. Oops. Next one would be this high. Next one comes from these, this area right here. And here. And then overall on this, you're trapped in between this high. Right there. So this will buy will give you about 40 pips to 30 pip move, right? For buy, about 35 for the sale. Drop it to the 1 hour. Let's turn it up just a little bit. Like that a little better. I even throw in another target on the buy. Okay, so the buy is overall 35 to 35, 40 as well. And if you break above this, you trade it to this high. If it break below this, you trade it to that low. But overall, we do have, you can see the Head and Shoulders in the 4 hour. Well, better on the 1 hour. We got a 1 hour Head and Shoulder. You can see it. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder that it just made. So, if you do take the cell, be cognitive of that. We could push up for that. So that's just something to consider. And let me drop you.
Corey, you said that's a Head and Shoulders?
Inverted Head and Shoulder.
Oh yeah, okay, that's what I was saying. I was like, that's an inverted Head and Shoulders to myself.
Yep. Inverted form. ACAD. I usually trade. Traded ACAD before. All right, quick analysis in the monthly, ranging monthly, but we do have an impulse from this low to this high. All right. And weekly lining up, we did have a recent impulse from this low to this high. Daily, we have reacted from this low to this high, and now we rejected the kill zone of this move, right? So without me even throwing the fibs, I can show you that we just got a kill zone reaction from that higher low right here. There's our bounce off of the kill zone right here. So right now we just made a high. And we're pushing up. So we want to see, we have this most recent move from the 7 to where it currently is, right? This is our high for now. We know from higher time frames we're near supply. So not to choose a particular side, but our bias should be to the selling because we sold here, 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 and now we're back up here. If we do see continuous exhaustion, right? So take your bias, but just understand profit should be locked in as you get these candles to form, right? And then you can see on the 4 hour right here already, we consolidating near the high. That could be one or two things. That mean that could be about to break, or that it also can be about to reject. So there is here. Oh, this is what you want to look for up here. This is a good setup right here. This is a really good setup.
Yeah,
Because,
overall.
what's
But,
that?
I mean, I have it as a sell. Like I have two positions. One at the it will create a high before that, and then I have it at the current high.
Yeah, this is a good sell because, this is a good setup because if it breaks, you know that it's going to break and push up in a higher high, right? Higher highs, right? But it also, if it sells, this gave you enough time to sit inside of this little small range that is created, that you still have an opportunity to get in the sales, even if you didn't get in near the highs, right?
Yeah.
And really, really, really good entry. So Out of all the charts so far, this is the one I like the best out of this. Because it's like, think about it, right? It moved all the way up here really, really, really fast, and then it paused just to give you enough time to make a decision right here. And it paused near a high. So the pause here says, I know that it's gonna either go up or go down, right? So that's the logic behind that. Gonna get targets from all the way over here for the buy, because that's the most recent rejection. All of your targets are basically gonna come from this range over here. This is pretty much 40 pips. Cool. Yeah, we could probably throw one more over here. One more here. And like, I like doing this like this versus just putting a line right there, because I want you to know where the target is coming from and why the target is right there, right? Not just draw a line and it's going through a bunch of stuff, right? I want you to see like exactly where the target has been chosen. So if it break above this, you just got this high right here. This would be where you ultimately want to target right here.
And then if it breaks above it, you can look for another buy to push up.
Yep, right at that level. And then sell.
SAB TP at like 667, 95667, 95459.
Nine, 5, 6, 6, 7.
Yeah, for the first TP, it should be that very first pause in the market, right? Basically, I think right below.
In this area right here.
Yeah.
That's where your imbalance is. Similar situation. If you get it to break below here, this is where you want to target to. All right, here.
Yeah, that's exactly where my last TP is.
Yep. So this is 1 hour. This is the overall. $73 on the sale. But once you get around this area, this is where you may see a little rejection. So same situation as I mentioned before. Lock your profits in. Same thing on the buy. Overall is about 50 pips. Lock your targets in. But this is my favorite out of all of these. You could even trade this a little lower if you wanted to, right here. And if you do that,
Pips.
get a couple more pips, but I would still look for this. Like, be careful around the high. If you do trade this break, be careful around this high. But you still target over here. Then that make the move overall 54, 55 pips.
Push it up at that high for the buy rate, just in case, because that week is nasty.
Yeah. So if you do, look, the market just opened.
Good.
We are breaking. Market just opened. Okay. Also, let me hop off because I don't want to bite into Kira's session. So hope you guys got a lot of value out of this session. I recorded it so you guys can go back and watch this, and then I'll drop the link for this inside of Zoom. I mean, inside of the Telegram once everybody gets off. All right.
You could have continued today's application day. Basically, she made people do exactly what they learned on Saturday.
Well, I was just thinking that.
I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, you keep on going because today's Sunday, so her thing is application day. Basically means if you was learning something, she just wants you to repeat what you've already learned.
Well, you guys just hop on. Yeah, just hop on. Yeah.
Can we do something like that too one day? Like team application one day?
You'll have to explain it, but what's she doing again? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Say today we learned something, right? And then you have her teaming on Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday.
So on Tuesday, you'll teach something, but we'll also go over something we learned on Sunday, and we'll like put an application, like basically repeat what you taught us.
We would show you what you taught us.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well,
Yeah.
awesome.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I hope you cheer up soon.
Oh, I'm good.
Oh.
Look at that.
He does not look like himself. My goodness.
I'm good.
Corey ain't trading at all this week. Watch.
I might not. I don't know yet.
You're gonna be trading because I'm gonna be there.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Well, see, that's the biggest smile you've had. Well, most of an hour. Have mercy.
Nah.
Well, welcome back, Corey. Jesus.
All right. Y'all be good, be easy. I'll see y'all this week. Hop on OK Boom. Kira, and yeah. He's out.
Bye.
Corey.
Bye. Bye, Corey.